Do we continue to allow Iran to develop nuclear weapons capable of striking the United States of America and harming our citizens, or do we put an end to it? The president made the right choice by bringing the Iranians to the negotiating table, but when those negotiations failed, he did absolutely the right thing. He had drawn the line and he stuck to it. Now, what we see around the world, of course, those Iranian expatriates that are living abroad, they are cheering for the United States and Israel. And we see our Arab friends, neighbors to Iran in that region, that are saying, keep going, keep going, keep going. Do not stop until Iran is brought to their knees.
All right, let's switch domestically on topics. Waste, fraud, and abuse. I know you've been big on that. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, he was on Capitol Hill yesterday, as you know, facing questions about the alleged fraud in his state. Walz slamming the investigation. I wanted to play this for you, for our viewers, claiming it's politically motivated. Watch.
The people of Minnesota have been singled out and targeted for political retribution at an unparalleled scale, including blocking Medicaid reimbursements to our state just last week. Under the guise of combating fraud, the federal government has flooded Minnesota with masked, untrained, and unaccountable agents who are wreaking havoc in our communities. On the streets of Minnesota, federal agents have entered U.S. citizens' homes who have committed no crimes. They have violated the constitutional rights of our citizens. They have ignored court orders. They have shot first and asked questions later.
Senator, your thoughts on him calling this political retribution? You've been spearheading efforts to eliminate fraud in government.
It's laughable.
It is laughable, absolutely, folks. You know, I know when I'm back home, if I see a home where smoke is coming out or maybe there's some flames, you know, I'm going to call the fire department. That's exactly the way Minnesota is right now. We have seen the smoke, we have smelled the smoke, and we're starting to see flames. We have called in the firefighters. So I am an equal opportunity auditor. And when there is a situation that warrants additional attention, for heaven's sakes, we're going to focus attention on it. It doesn't mean we're focusing only on Minnesota, where we have seen nearly $300 million of child nutrition dollars that have been exposed, where we have seen up to $9 billion of Medicare potential fraud within that system. We're going to focus on that, but there are other states as well where we are focusing. So if we see it, we're going to call it out. So sorry, Governor Walz, that you got caught, but you have been caught. Now is time to pay back that money to the American taxpayer. Admit that you did wrong. And unfortunately, this fraud was caught as early as 2019, and yet they did nothing about it.
We saw multiple news reports, people on the ground. It seems like it was the worst kept secret. But at the end of the day, I think the American people, they want to see, Senator, they want to see some accountability, not just, you know, hearings and talking and this. Because if Governor Walz was the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company and all this fraud was happening and he looked the other way, or he knew, or he was complicit, he would be behind bars right now. He would be serving a very lengthy federal sentence. So do you believe that criminal indictments will eventually be handed down, and should they be?
Well, yes, I think they should be. If he's turning a blind eye, knowing there's fraud within his system in the state of Minnesota, he needs to be held accountable. So this is the frustrating part about being in Congress, is that I can expose all of the fraud in the world. I can work with all of these watchdog agencies that do tremendous work. And God bless Nick Shirley and for his expose. This was important. So that's where it ends when it comes to congressional oversight. So what we're trying to do is push the Department of Justice, push the state and local authorities to go in, to take up our investigations and our oversight, make a case of it, and go after the individuals that are responsible. So now we have to lean upon our judicial system and make sure that people, they're being indicted, that they are going to prison. And for heaven's sakes, as I stated before, if there's any way we can claw back our American taxpayer dollars, because I've got a lot of Iowans that work really hard to pay their taxes, and they are upset.
And he wanted to run again. If it was not for Nick Shirley, he'd still be running for governor again.
That was shut down. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst joining us live. Senator, thank you so much. Good to see you.